we're done with it.
Hey everybody, we finally got our chores done and it's time to do a little gardening. We're out here to try to get the rest of our spring garden in. We've got the beds amended already. We need to add some compost to a few of them and then start planting.
It's time for us to start summer garden plants, and so we're behind schedule. We're trying to roll it out with the spring and move on to the next. Bed prep takes a lot longer in real life than it does on film. You can tell we're chasing the daylight. We've had a lot to do today. We've had chores. We're getting ready for Easter. Family's coming over. So I'll try to walk around and show some of the progress. You might have seen us plant radishes, peas, carrots, green onions, spinach, and so I'll show you how that's all doing. The cilantro that we seeded is coming up very nice. And then down the middle, Jason planted spinach. And it's coming up nicely also. These poles that are in the pathways, that's our tomato structure that we'll put up when we're getting closer to time to plant tomatoes. We're ready for summer plants. Our weather forecast doesn't show any more hard frost. It's just a matter of time. But we want to make sure we get all of our spring things in, even though they're a little bit behind schedule. This is green onions and radishes. These are leeks. Now we're on the inside of the garden, the other side of this perimeter bed that has lettuce. We have celery. You can see all the baby carrots that are germinating. Beets were planted last night. You can see the ground is moist where Jason watered in. Some of them look just a little bit wilty. That's probably transplant shock, but they'll perk up. Here are our peas. These snow peas, Green Beauty from Baker Creek, they came up really well. The other peas that we planted, we're noticing lots of spots that are empty. And that's concerning because we bought brand new seed this year. It's not old, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. But one thing that we did notice was some holes. We've had a problem with voles in the garden, and so we're kind of thinking that maybe that's the issue and there's root disturbance. So maybe they germinated but got disturbed because of voles. So we'll have to figure out a solution for that. It's too late to get everything into the ground that we need to. We're going to get small cabbage planted, fennel, and bok choy, and then we'll have to come back on a different day to continue. Jason is going in with his divot maker to make holes for the plants, and he's eyeballing 1 foot spacing. I'm going back with a plant roller that he has made that has markings for different plants and checking his spacing. So he was pretty spot on, and then I took over and he started planting.
And now we're going to plant a little bulb fennel, 2 varieties, and dragon.
Here's day 3 of these plants in the ground. This is cabbage. This is the outside perimeter bed of our main garden. We started in this section. This was our first garden space when we moved in. This is bulb fennel. And bok choys. I'm going to keep walking through the rest of the garden. We've definitely made progress on cleaning some things up, but we still have a lot more work to go. This is the back side of our shed coming out of the main garden. This is where our figs are, and you can see that where silage tarp was not covering, it is definitely overgrown with weeds. This is our asparagus bed. It's perennial. It needs to be weeded. And there's an asparagus that's growing. We'll leave that one. If they're smaller than the width of a pencil, we leave it and we only pick the ones that are thicker and stalkier. Oh, I spy one. When that one gets taller, we'll pick it. We have a perimeter bed up through here, and we've recently, after quite a few years of dealing with weeds encroaching from the neighbors, have decided that these perimeter beds all along here, they're just too close to neighbors. So what our plan is to not plant there, maybe put weed barrier down, and then make a new bed on the inside that gives us a little bit of a barrier from the neighbor yards. And this is all weeds that need to go. It was wood chipped and there was a silage tarp over it, but when we moved that tarp off to a different area, the weeds have come back and they got out of hand. These are grapevines. And then we have raspberries, a row here, a row here, and 3 thriving blueberry plants. We lost one last year to a really hard freeze. And this is our watermelon bed. We planted broccoli and kohlrabi here a few days ago. And those plants all look good. Except for a couple of broccoli that got hit by a stray football when family was over on Easter Sunday. We're going to finish up our spring planting. In case you're wondering, the reason why we start and stop so much is because we have jobs and we have kids, and things get in the way from committing as much time to this as we would like. So we just have to fit in what we can when we can. Right now we're planting Swiss chard, bright lights, and then we're going to plant cutting celery. So we've had a warmer day, and you can see that some of these plants that were just planted in the ground 2 days ago, they're looking a little bit wilty. Our irrigation line is not on yet, so we're hand watering. We already had the hose out and hooked up so that we could water in some of the new plants. And so we're just going through and giving the transplants from a few days ago a little drink. That was just a minor interruption. The nozzle wasn't secure onto the quick connect, so the pressure built up and it blew the nozzle off. But everybody's okay. Before we plant in this bed, we're going to take care of some of the weeds and the trash plants that have grown up, mainly privet. We do this every year. Our neighbors are aware that we have permission. We're blessed to have neighbors who are very courteous and conscientious. They know that we try to keep chemicals away from our garden, away from our plants, and so they don't spray anything that would be a chemical herbicide, and they allow us to do things like burn up their yard, just the edge. Is that privet root? We're so close to being done with all of our spring planting. We have kale, and then we're going to direct sow leaf lettuce and turnips in this space, and then we'll be done.
Hey everybody, we finally got the spring garden in.
And now we can start complaining about how late we are on our summer garden.
Thanks for watching.
What?
I thought you were going to say that part.
I thought you were going to say that part. Thanks for watching.
Surely you cannot say that part. Cut.